guys, this is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, warm up for phase 11. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do a bird dog position. So he's going to be on all fours. And on this position, we want to think about the core. We're trying to create rotation and get that rotation steady, right? So we go opposite arm, opposite leg, straight out, come back down, touch, then change sides, right? So all we're going to try to do is, our goal here is to try to get as long as possible without rotating in this mid-core position, all right? It's going to be a pretty simple exercise for most people, but they want to think about engaging their core. It's going to make it a little bit tougher. Tactical frogs. So think about like a child's pose position, knees a little bit wider. And so we're going to start on all fours, and Harrison's going to start by sitting back on his heels, so in that child's pose position. He's going to drive his hips towards the ground as we go forward into that cobra. So we're going from a tactical, or we're going from child's pose position into a cobra, back and forth, trying to work on those hip mobilities. One of the things you'll see with this one is some people get a little irritation in their knees because it's against the ground. So being on the turf helps out just a little bit for them, or they can always grab knee pads if they want to. We'll need knee pads for this next one. The next one we're going to do is a half kneeling hip pulse. So in this position here, tall chest. We do like to dig that back toe in the ground to give them a little more support. Tall chest. I'm trying to tell Harrison on this one, challenge, like squeeze the glute on the leg that's down, and then we're trying to drive this front hip forward, and you'll feel the stretch on this hip on this side, okay? And then we'll switch sides for that one. Next we have scapular push-ups. So it's a push-up position, and we're going to stay tall. We want to keep these elbows as locked out as possible, and I just want him moving through this shoulder blade position. So we're going to come up as high as we can, and then down low as we can. We want to tell them to try to get tall in the top part, try to get up towards my hands, and then squeeze those shoulder blades together. We do need to give them a modification of doing this on their knees, because people on their that are overweight, this is hard for them. So in that position, we're actually going to let our hips drive out more far, more like a push-up. They go and squeeze together and drive them up and squeeze together, okay? Keeping those elbows locked out. Toe touch squat to stand. So on this one, he's going to touch his toes, and we're going to get that long position, right? We're going to do a full toe touch hamstring. Then from here, he's going to drop his hips down. We're trying to get that hip mobility through there. Then he's going to drive his hips all the way up, get long again, and then stand tall, okay? So on that position there, what we see, our biggest issue we see with people is they instantly go into a squat. We want to make sure they're long and tall on those hamstrings first before we go into that squat position. Inline lunge. So in inline lunge, we're looking for instability. So we're trying to make them a little bit less stable. As you can see, Harrison's foot here, we want to create as close of a line as we can with this foot back here to create him a little less stability. Now everybody's going to have a different variation of this. People that are really unstable are going to have their feet a little bit wider. People that are very stable can get really challenging and really get that as in line as possible, okay? Our goal there is to make a split squat position or a lunge position more challenging by losing their balance. Okay, 90-degree hip twist. So in this one, we're going to try to keep this chest as much straight as possible, and we're just trying to rotate in the hips position. Just back and forth, twisting those hips as much as possible as we go through that. Now, for people that struggle with this position that can't be plyometric, what they're going to do is they're going to stay in that tall chest, and we're just going to do like a crossover with their knees, all right? We're just trying to get that rotation through that core and that spine. The last thing we're going to have is a shoulder flexion jumping jack. So there's a jumping jack in the bottom part where we're shoulder flexioning in the front. As you see, he's coming forward with those hands. We're trying to get those extended as far overhead. Our modification that is a shoulder flexion march. So he's going to take them up while marching with his feet up and down. All right, that's phase 11, warm up on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.